Bruce, welcome back. We can hear you now loud and clear. Your thoughts on the Oilers' tidy business yesterday?
Well, I think they took care of things that they had to do. I mean, to me, Darnell Nurse was like Mitch Marner. Everybody wanted him sort of out of the town, and so they did it. They may end up regretting it. I don't know. When we talk about the retention of all this in a year, that $9 million is going to be looking like a third line center money. Because I mean, the way the guys were signing for the big money yesterday, it's really not going to look as bad as it was. But you know what? I think he was the whipping boy in Edmonton. When things went wrong, it was all about Darnell Nurse. I think moving him out was great, but you had to get something back to make the team better. And I think Shea's, the guy they got from Pittsburgh, is pretty good. I watch Pittsburgh hockey a lot here, and I think he's a pretty good hockey player. And I mean, it was only, I thought, 1 year that he had. So I'm always leery when the players sign for the big money or get a good deal after they've only had one good year. Like Radish in Toronto, for example. I'm saying, yeah, what a fabulous year, but he's only done it once and he's 30. So, I mean, you take that gamble. But I think Shea's a young enough defenseman that I think it's going to be working out for him. I was really happy that they went and got the two goalies, Levi and Anderson. I mean, they had to make a change there. Now, if Tristan Jarry and Anderson are the duo, I mean, both of them have a tendency to get hurt a lot. So it's going to be, you're going to need them both playing at their best. I think they both have something to prove. So I think it's going to be, yeah, I'm going to show you kind of attitude by both of them. And I think that's great. Re-signing Kapanen was a good deal, I thought. So, I mean, and you know what? Then now they've got they got their team. They got to deal with Mike Babcock. That's the biggest thing. And if they can get through that and put him sort of on the back burner, and that he's not first and forefront on every game and every reaction, then I think they did okay. I don't know. Even Levi, I think, is a pretty good goaltender. Like, I mean, to get him and to be the third guy, unless they get him to be the second guy and they've still got moves planned somewhere else, I don't know. But I gave them a B for what they did, because they definitely tried to improve the team, but time will tell. Like you always know in October. Like, I mean, was it? Oh, that's good. Like, let's not forget Nashville 2 years ago. Everybody thought, whoa, they had the best free agency, and they went for a complete dump. So, I mean, we'll see. But I like the attempt at what they did this summer.
Yeah, you don't get a banner or a ring for winning July 1, and we've seen that documented various times around the league, even here a couple years back. I'm glad, though, you went to Babcock. I was maybe going to, but we only get you every second week. So just your thoughts on...
You can get me more. All you have to do is ask.
It's in the contract.
Anyway, go on.
I'll make the deals. But yeah, your thoughts on that. I mean, he was introduced. He was rolled out here alongside DJ Smith, who spoke as well and kind of said that he's going to be the soft touch, I guess, to his hard one. But again, your thoughts on how all that kind of rolled out here, last week.
Well, you know what? I mean, the biggest thing to me when I was reading it and seeing it is that they said everybody was on board. And what I always, the first thing that goes through my mind all the time is everybody's on board in the summer, but it's, like, I mean, the first time that they sit there, or maybe not the first time, but if he does it more than once and they say, Connor, you're not playing very well, you sit at the end of the bench, we'll see how that reaction is. I mean, I don't know if a Leopard changes his spots. Mike Babcock has said he's gonna do what he does, and so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. Now, for X's and O's and coaching and everything else, Mike Babcock is at the top of the list. He's very, very good. We all know that. It's just where he's had trouble is dealing with people, and so we'll see if his dealing from the hard AS, the hard guy to I don't know what I can say these days. Anyway, to the hard bum guy to the understanding guy is going to be interesting, and I definitely think this will be the first year in a few years that the Edmonton Oilers will get off to a really good start. I just think the new coach, the different style, and everything else, it'll be a good start. Whether it lasts, it will be the story, and hopefully it does. We'd like to see Edmonton back in the Cup final.
Yeah, and a good start would be a refreshing change from most of their starts, whether it's season, Christmas, Olympic break, whatever. I mean, that they've been notoriously slow starters. Wanted one more Oiler one. I know, Dave, we're going to talk a little Leafs as well here. But we were talking about what Bowman did yesterday and also what he didn't do. And when we come out of yesterday, there were none of those things or deals where you looked at and said, oh, my God, player X for wow, that much term or that much money. Or there didn't seem to be any of those errors or glaring things that jumped off the page in terms of transactions. And the one box that remains unticked is, I guess, maybe acquiring a legit top six winger. There were some names out there. They ultimately didn't go that route. They have some money now in their pockets. They can maybe wait, trade deadline, see what shakes loose there. So your thoughts on, kind of some of the players, the Giroux's out there and Manthas or whatever, and where do you come out on them kind of sitting tight and sitting packed and not making that move yesterday?
Well, I really do like that they didn't make that move, because when you're doing that and you're sort of begging to find that one player that fits in the top six, you always overpay. And I'm sure there's reasons like that Mantha's still out there. I'm thinking he had his career year. Now he's looking for 5 years and, big money, and everybody else is going, hold on a minute. He had one good year, but there's been a lot of years where he hasn't been that good. So, I think that's one of the big reasons I like sitting back after day one and seeing what's left, because you can probably get the better deals and the better bargains in the next day. Now, today will be a day that they will sign again. Other teams will sign again, but then it gets really quiet for a while after day two of free agency, and then they sputter and get guys in August and late July. But I'm really happy that the Oilers didn't go and say, oh, we need that guy and we're going to give him, we'll make another move and we'll get this guy and we'll spend as much money as we can. So I think sitting back and waiting till the dust clears is a really good move on their part.
Bruce, John Jacob was brought in to usher in change in Toronto. We've certainly done that. Whether you agree with all the moves or not, they are going to be a different team. Sergei Bobrovsky, is $7 million the right amount of money for him, and is he the right goalie at this time for them?
Well, that's a real interesting question. I talked about this a lot yesterday, and in my opinion, unless you're going for the Stanley Cup in the next year or two, then I don't know why you would go get Bobrovsky. And I don't think the Leafs are in contention to win a Stanley Cup in the next year or two. Maybe it was to show Auston Matthews that we're going to be all in and you'll want to re-sign here. I don't know that part, but I do know they made an awful lot of moves. And in my history, sometimes you make too many moves you got to get all those guys together as a team, and it takes a while to get together as a team. And I think sometimes 7 moves that they've made since they acquired Radish is an awful lot of change on a team that, they had a bad year, but the year before, they lost to Florida in 7 games and were a pretty good team. And so it's going to be interesting. I thought, like, when they went out and got Roslovic, the first thing that I thought was, well, you know what? If he was going to be a top 6 forward, wouldn't Edmonton have re-signed him? And so, I followed his career through Winnipeg, through Columbus, through Edmonton. And he starts out quick and then he really peters out after the halfway mark. So, I don't know if that was a great signing. For me anyway. What the Leafs did, they established a fourth line. They didn't work on their defense, which, if you want Bobrovsky And Bobrovsky, let's look at it. In the last 3 years, his numbers have gone down, down, and down. And he is 37, will be 38 this year. I don't know if that's because Florida was bad last year or whether Bob was getting – sometimes you just get old. And so that's going to be an interesting scenario as well. So the Leafs, they made a lot of moves. They made a big splash. They were probably the headliners everywhere. But my jury is out on whether they did a lot to make themselves a lot better.
Yeah, like I don't know if the needle moves quite so much. You mentioned Bobrovsky stealing the headlines, and certainly so, but it was kind of a lot of – I mean, Morgan Riley's still there. You mentioned the defense. So I don't know. I mean, we can't tell in July, I guess, but we'll move on. What else yesterday made you kind of tilt back in your rocking chair and really kind of slap you across the face like a wet salmon yesterday in terms of movement around the league? We've talked Oilers, we've talked Leafs. Anything else that got Bruce excited?
Well, you know what? I don't know why, but I always like watching what teams like Tampa do. And they seem to make smart moves all the time. I think like getting John Carlson to fit in on that defense. Also, like if Hedman is back, and then they can split the power play duties, and maybe Radish won't be missed as much. The Mikheyev signing I thought was really good, only because I had him in Vancouver, and he played the whole first half of the year with me with a torn ACL and still had 13 goals. So I think his capabilities are really good. I like what they do, and it's sort of subtle stuff sometimes, but I'm always impressed. What I didn't like is I looked at Detroit didn't do anything, and there's a team that needs to do something. I didn't think Ottawa did anything, and there's a team. Those are two teams. If other teams in the East are getting better, like Florida and Toronto and Tampa and Montreal's going to be good and Boston's going to be good, then these guys did nothing, and I don't know where they're going to stand in the playoffs. As far as the West goes, I mean, I thought Calgary was they said just, hey, we're not doing anything, and that's the end of it, and they didn't do much, and Vancouver's going to be Vancouver for about the next 5 years, I think. So, I mean, I don't know what you can say about them.
Not much.
It'll be interesting to see if Hellebuyck does get traded, as the talk was going on. But I personally don't think he will be, but that's me. But I'm sure teams are still out there. And in the West, Utah, getting Trocheck and Anders Lee, I think those are two big hits for a team that is not bad. Like, I mean, they gave teams a run all year long, so they got better in my mind. And we don't know if they're done. So it's going to be interesting. And July is always interesting, but we'll get to see how it is in August. There's still some good players out there that haven't gone. Edmonton's looking for a pretty solid winger. Can Patrick Kane still do the job? He would be a guy that I would look at that has had. It's not like he's only had one good year in his life. I mean, he's been doing it for he's a Hall of Famer for sure. So those are kind of guys that I look to see where they'll end up, and I know they'll end up somewhere good.
All right, time to pop up on that turnbuckle here. Anything you'd like to talk about in the restaurant? I know a lot of people texting in. They want your thoughts on Sami Zayn. So the floor is yours, Bruce.
Sami Zayn's got a body like mine, for crying out loud. How can he be champion? Okay, next time you watch, you ask me if he's got a muscle. I mean, it's just He's flexible. Body. He's flexible. Yeah. And I've met Sammy quite a few times, and we've had conversations, and he's a great guy. But I thought that was a big surprise by him winning, but he's going to lose at SummerSlam. So whoever he fights is going to beat him. But, the WWE is great when they want to pull the big surprise out, and I think that was the big surprise the week or the month, whatever. But I just can't see him retaining that for any length of time.
And that is what's coming up next. It is the SummerSlam. The schedule's not in front of me. I'm kind of foreign to all that, but that's the next big one.
You should know that.
Yeah, well, I don't have the schedule in front of me either, but I know there's probably one more pay-per-view before that,
yeah,
where they'll build it up. But I got to believe that it's going to be SummerSlam, and Sammy will lose it to somebody, but that's what he does. But he probably, the way I look at it, and I don't look at it that closely, is in his contract, they had him winning somewhere. And so this was a good place to win, so he can only win for a short period of time.
Okay, well, speaking of contracts, I'll talk to Dustin. Maybe we'll get you on closer on SummerSlam or whatever and discuss the summer months.
Hey, I'm available for you guys all the time. So, let's go. Let's keep hockey in the forefront for the rest of the summer, and it's not too long before we get back at it.
Absolutely. Bruce Boudreau, we appreciate your time,
Bruce.
man. Take care. That's Bruce Boudreau, our GS Construction hockey analyst this morning.